Today on Joe Public Speaking, I talk with two musicians who have worked together since they were kids. Their band and album is called Downtown Phantom, and they are a force to be reckoned with. Guitar player Johnny Rao has recorded and toured with former New York Dolls members Sylvain and David Johansen, and drummer Thommy Price has recorded and toured with Joan Jett and the Blackhearts since 1986, and he's also worked with a long, diverse list of bands and solo artists. Most of this interview focuses on Downtown Phantom. We'll check out a couple of their songs, and by the way, they are now recording more material. I had a chance to talk with them, each from their home studios, just last weekend. Tell me about Downtown Phantom. That's sort of the name of the album and the name of the band. I have to say that I was, from the first listen, I was blown away by songs like Some Strange and Here I Am and Sitting on Gold. You Can't Make Somebody Love You, Living with Your Ghost. Just a really amazing group of songs. How did that come about?
That's a long story, and it took a long time to do it.
And it might take all day to explain it.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of time. So
go ahead, Johnny, explain it.
Well, Thommy, you were working with Joey at first. You decided you wanted to start recording your own stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so it was just you two, right? And you needed a guitar player.
Me and Joey Vast, the bass. He's talking about Joey Vast on bass. I was thinking about doing some songs, and Joey and I were thinking of what to do with guitar, and of course, I thought of Johnny. Yeah.
Well, actually, Joey came down. I have a band, Dead Cowboys, and he happened to come down to see us. So he came to see us, and after he came to see us, he tells me the story all the time. He called Thommy up and said, "Thommy, I just saw Johnny, playing, and he's not, he's pretty good. How about we use him?" So then I guess Thommy said, "Oh yeah, I remember him." And so they called me in to start working with them, and we started recording. It really, took off. It started sounding good.
So what was the songwriting process? Was that kind of really collaborative, or did one of you kind of kick things off with lyrics or melody? Or how did that happen?
Started with one of Tommy's songs called Tangerine. So they sent me, Tangerine was kind of written and even recorded for the most part, and they wanted to see what I could do with it. So they sent it to me, and I did a lot of changes. I brought it to a place where I don't think Thommy thought it could go, and he liked what I did, and that's when he decided,
we really needed like that opening guitar riff. Johnny was always famous in the old days for coming up with like that great melodic guitar part before the vocal even started. He's one of these guys that can do that. You give him a song. Give me a guitar part before the vocal comes in, something that I can hum when I go home, something people will remember, and he always knocks it out of the park.
Yeah,
he gets the line, and you remember it forever. It's one of those things, and that's what the song needed. That it's the first hook in the song. Before you even get to the chorus, you hear Johnny's guitar part, and that's what the song needed. And from that song on. I was paying these two guys to come in and record a couple of songs with me in Chinatown in my friend's studio. By the end of 1 month recording, we started a band. It was like, forget about my solo project. Let's just do this as a band project. And then Johnny and I he started sending me stuff that he had written. With no vocals, no melody, just just guitar parts with drum programs on it, and I started coming up with melodies and lyrics, and from that it just took off. One of the first songs we wrote was "Sitting on Gold."
Yeah, Thommy did a great job.
Song.
I had this music, but I'm not a singer. I don't write lyrics. And I didn't send him anything but the music. And I've done this before with other singers where they'll come back with something that's really not what the song needed. I didn't have to do that with Thommy. I sent Thommy the music and what he sent me without me even giving him any idea what I had in my head. And it's better I didn't, because it would have ruined it. He came back with something that was like, oh, this is like much, much better than, I could even imagine. And I was really like, I knew that we could start writing and doing some good stuff. So.
Try not to think of this. Must be that 7-year itch. Crazy thoughts when I'm all alone. I only sing this away from home. Keep your tails and your crazy tips. Can of pop and your buffalo chips. 'Cause baby, I need a change. I need some strange. Been driving out to the early dawn. Got dust in my mouth, my leather is warm. I see a light at a cheap motel. I'll spend a day, you can never tell. Make that choice, I won't let her know. So I gotta keep it on the down low. 'Cause baby, I need a change. I need some strange. Taste, it's a matter of time, but I know where my heart lies. Put it away for a rainy day. 'Cause baby, I need a change. I need some strange. Girl, I need a change. I need some strange.
Yeah, good. I would say is an understatement. It's right from the first track on the album with Some Strange. I was just like, how did I not hear this back when it's been out for a while, right?
Yeah, but we did a couple of these blog type radio things too, but then then we stopped doing them, and so nothing's out there. We're not promoting.
As far as we're concerned, as far as I'm concerned, the record's not even out yet. I mean, it has really been. We had it. It's finished. It's on the shelf. But we haven't really done anything to promote it. We haven't done anything. I just moved out of New York. Johnny just bought a house in New Jersey. I mean, we're all doing other stuff. So we never really, and plus we don't have a record company behind us pushing it. We don't have nothing behind us, no machine behind us giving us any money to go out and play. And then of course the pandemic hit and we couldn't promote the record. Even if we wanted to do small shows around New York, we couldn't even do that. So it kind of got once again put on hold, this record, and it's still on hold. So as far as I'm concerned, because there's so much good stuff on this record, and I'm really proud of it. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Yeah, I agree. And I was going to ask you about that. I figured, you know, with all that both of you do with other bands and other musicians, whether it's touring or recording, you know, even without the pandemic, I can imagine not having a whole lot of time to be like touring around as Downtown Phantom when you're touring and recording with all these other bands.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's the truth. I mean, although, you know, since I mean, it kind of was a hitch for me because I had gotten sick right around right before we started the record. I had gotten diagnosed with bladder cancer, and so it took me off the road with Joan. And so since 2017, I haven't been touring. So it left me a lot of time. Although I was healing, I was on the heel. I was on the mend, rather. You know, I could have had time to promote this record, but then it took a long time to master it. I mean, we had a lot of problems. By the time it was done, then this pandemic kicked in, and then and then I moved, and then, you know, so it's kind of still on hold at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Rock and roll fans everywhere need to hear this. Just an amazing group of songs, and you know, in addition to being like great, many of them driving rock and roll songs, there's also this sort of filmic or you know, soundtrack kind of quality to a lot of these songs. And I know you've been told that before. How conscious was that as you were writing them, or was it just kind of, well, that's how they turned out, or was there a little bit of consciousness like we want to write
Not at all, Tom,
stories?
not at all, man.
No,
I
I love spaghetti western stuff. I love
Me too.
James Bond theme music. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, if I could stick it in there somehow, I will. So I did. I tried anyway.
But I mean, I don't think Johnny was conscious of okay, I'm going to write a score for a film, or this might be great for a movie. I think that's the kind of music that comes out of him, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of my influences. So yeah, it got in there somehow, and you know, which I like. I like to hear. You know, you don't hear too much of it, so whatever we could stick in there that may make it a little unique, you know, we will.
First we moved to the left, then we moved to the right. Over the years I guess
So I want to we'll come back to more about Downtown Phantom in a few minutes, but I want to talk about the long list of long and amazing lists of artists that both of you have worked with over the years. And when Thommy was talking about Johnny's influence and sort of his ability to come in and kind of change the dynamic somewhat in a good way for a lot of these songs with his guitar playing. I've had Greg Allen on the show before, and I've known Greg for a long time. And Johnny, you're on the Greg Allen Group album that's called Just for You. And because I knew Greg's music before I had heard this album from before that time, and I know that his music has a pretty good level of power to it. But then I put this on, and right from the first track, which is called Perfect, I was just like, man, I mean, the guitar work that you do on this album takes it to a whole other place, and just like the energy from it is just incredible.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah,
there's
and
a
the whole,
couple of songs.
as Thommy was saying, that the sort of melodic aspect of your guitar playing, you can hear that right from the beginning on Perfect as well. Sounds great.
Well, that music is right, right up my alley. What Greg was doing. As a matter of fact, as you might know, one of Greg's songs, "Ghost," we do on the Downtown Phantom song.
Yeah,
record.
Yeah.
Greg's great. I mean, Greg.
Incredible song, great lyrics.
Yeah, he's out of the box, Greg. He's just he's one of a kind, and I wish him luck. I hope he gets something happening with his career, because he deserves it. He's been at it a long time, Greg.
Well, and he's also sort of I don't know if disciple is too strong a word, but definitely a big New York Dolls fan, particularly Johnny Thunders. And I want to kind of segue into talking with both of you about the people who you've played with and worked with over the past several years. And Johnny, I know you have recorded with and played with Sylvain, David Johansen, and in addition, some non-Dolls folks like Helen Schneider and the Kick. And
which Thommy was in that band, by the way. I don't know if you know that. He was the drummer.
Sorry, I did not pick up on that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, he got me in the band.
So that answers the question of when you guys first started to work together.
Oh, no, that wasn't when we first started working. We started working with 13 years old.
Yeah.
I know Thommy since I was 13. That's when we first played.
We had our first band. One of our first bands when I moved to Staten Island was with Johnny. Yeah, when I was like 13, 14 years old, with Kazim Sultan.
Ah, yeah, another familiar name.
Me, Kazim, and Johnny.
That's incredible. So, yeah, and Thommy, I know you've got like this really long list of people who you've played with, but I just want to a little bit of a follow up with Johnny. As far as like Dolls fans who kind of maybe had a little bit more of one former member of the Dolls than others who they listen to. In my case, it was Sylvain. And I still have his first solo album and the Sylvain and the Teardrops album, in vinyl in my collection, and still love both those albums very much. And you played on the first solo one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Sylvain was not to cut you off, but he was writing a lot of the better songs with David, for the Funky But Chic and Girls, all that stuff was Sylvain writing either the music or music and the lyrics for a lot of that stuff. So he was real, he's a strong songwriter.
Yeah.
So, I was like, when it came time to, when he asked me to do that, I jumped at that because I liked, I loved what he was doing. Talented guy.
Yeah. Just great albums. Those two albums are still among my absolute favorite from that era, early
Thanks,
80s.
It was a little
Johnny,
watered
did
down.
you
I mean,
play on? Did you play? It was that song 14th Street. What was it?
yeah.
What record was that on?
That was
That's
on the Teardrops, right?
Oh,
No,
was-
that's that solo album, that pink looking solo album that he did, the first one.
Were you on that record?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. I love
That
that.
actually, Tony Bon Jovi produced that. So
Right.
that record, actually, I was a little disappointed because he produced it, but he was never there. We recorded a much heavier record, much more guitar heavy. It was just really a rockin' record. For some reason, when Tony got his hands on it after we finished recording it, he pulled all the balls out of it. I mean, it's still good,
Yeah.
but I just wish people could have heard what it sounded like before
Was
he
that
got his hands on it.
Was that pre Power Station?
It was we did it at Power Station, that record. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's unbelievable. That record does not sound like it was made at the Power Station.
Right, because he took
Because
all the
later
balls out
on,
of it.
guess what? You did the Helen Schneider record at the Power
Yeah.
Station.
Yeah. Me and you.
Now that sounds like a record that was recorded there, or a Bon Jovi record, or
Yeah. Well, everybody had their own room. It was insane. Everyone had their own little room. Is something else.
That's pretty funny. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Tommy, I'm amazed at the list of people who you have worked with over the years. Looking at your Wikipedia page,
Mhm.
I mean, that by itself should, kind of cue people in. He has his own Wikipedia page. Joan Jett, of course, from 1986 to the present.
Mm.
Billy Idol, Mick DeVille, Scandal, and then studio work. I'm not going to go through all of these, but just to highlight a few. Peter Wolf, former frontman of Jay Giles Band, Debbie Harry, Roger Daltrey, Rick Ocasek, Ronnie Spector, Blue Oyster Cult, Psychedelic Furs. It's incredible. The list of people that you have worked with over the past many years, and that's primarily, if not exclusively, as a drummer, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I didn't play violin on any of them records.
Well, I know you're also a guitar player, though, right? You can.
Yeah, but I didn't make a. I mean, I play guitar. I'm sort of a frustrated guitar player. I love playing guitar. I love collecting guitars, but I make a living playing drums. So,
Yeah.
I write on guitar though. I write all my songs on guitar.
Yeah. Well, I can see you've got a little cadre of guitars right behind you there.
Yeah, I do.
On
I do.
strings.
That's just some of them. Yeah, that's just the ones I use in my studio.
Yeah. Nice. There are some quotes that you have obviously earned throughout the past as a Billy Idol quote. This man is rock and roll history. Not a whole lot more that you need to say there. And another one is it's less of a sort of, a one-liner like that, but when Joan Jett and the Blackhearts were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think that was 2015. She made it a point to, now, as I understand, they inducted the original members of the Blackhearts, and that's why you were not on that list at that point, or is that right?
That's correct. That's right.
Yeah, but when she gave her speech, when she gave her acceptance speech, she really made it a point to talk about you and your dedication to the band and all the great work you had done for so many years. And also with some of the after, sort of like after media or whatever, after the induction, just kept coming back to being sure to mention you. How is that? That's a now 34 years, if I can add, that you've played as
Yeah, pretty much. It's coming around to that. I mean, I still work with them. I'm just not touring anymore with them. I still record with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I was really kind of moved with what she said, and I understood the whole induction thing. I mean, they were going on one song actually, "I Love Rock and Roll," and they wanted the original people that played on the record. So it had nothing to do with me. I had come in a little bit later, so. But she patted me on the back and for a job well done. And I appreciate it. I love her for it. And she's still a good friend, and I'm still working with them. But yeah, I was, and we had a great time all those years.
Yeah. Now, I noticed that I watched the video on YouTube, and you were there in the audience along with lots of other celebrities and musicians and so on. And the camera cuts to you at one moment when she's talking about you.
Mhm.
And I would imagine that had to be a kind of pretty moving moment in a way.
It
Right?
was. It very much was because I mean, as much as I kind of felt like I should have been up there. It was nice to be a part of it. Plus, we did a couple of songs live at the show. We had Tommy James come up and do Crimson and Clover with us. So we did a couple of songs. But it was great to be there and sharing the day with her. It was her day. The other guys in the band were just kind of, they happened to be at the right place at the right time. So they were kind of stragglers as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm talking about the guys back then.
Yeah. They didn't have too much to say, and I think they were, standing behind Joan as she was giving her speech, her
Well,
acceptance.
Ricky Byrd had a lot to say about himself.
Wow, that's right. Yeah.
And he said he wanted to, when he first joined the band, all he wanted to do was fuck her. I remember that. That I remember.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you remember?
All right.
No?
So, just want to shift gears a little bit and talk about New York. You're both native New Yorkers, right?
Yes.
And that's where you got your start, cut your teeth as musicians, met each other, have played with an incredible list of other musicians. And I guess my question is, from your experience, is there a kind of New York sound? I mean, or is there a sort of New York City influence on your music and your style of music?
Well, I think there used to be a New York sound. I don't think there is one anymore. As far as our music, I don't think so. I don't think it represents New York's. I don't think it represents anywhere. I think it's very universal sounding. I think you could live anywhere and hear our music. It could be England, it could be Germany, it could be, anywhere. But New York City did have a culture and a sound in the 70s, late 70s. Max's Kansas City, the Mud Club. That was New York City. That was when music was, television was out of New York City. That band was out of New York City. I mean, when you hear those records today, you think of New York City. My record, not so much. Downtown Phantom, I'm saying. I mean, it's a great record, but I don't think it represents New York City.
No, I think it represents what we've been influenced by, like all these years. I like I said before, I'm influenced by, personally, I'm influenced by a lot of different things, um, like I said, the theme music, instrumental music, some alternative country stuff. Love Steve Earle and all that stuff. Oh, we have a Steve
Yeah.
Earle song on that record. As far as New York, well,
I don't know if there is a New York, vibe anymore. I don't know if you can really pinpoint that anymore. I think it's been tried so many times ever since the Ramones or Blondie or whatever, the Dolls, Talking Head, whatever came out of CBGBs in them days. People tried to duplicate that, but it's just not, it can't be done again. It was done. It was they represented, and the times changed, and then all of a sudden, metal hit the streets, and times changed. So it's I think it's different.
What prompted that question was exactly the 70s into the early to mid 80s bands, probably from the Velvet Underground through some of those early to mid 80s bands that wound up, some of them wound up becoming really big names.
Yeah.
And my follow-up question to that was going to be about, do you think that it's carried on at all with millennials or Generation Z musicians or bands? But you've answered that, and it was kind of a response that I thought it would be. Yeah. I wish too. Well, I've got this one other question about New York City, because although I'm a Bostonian, I've always loved New York, and there's no, like, you get some of that little rivalry there with some people.
Oh,
Boston,
for sure.
Boston and New York.
Between our ball clubs.
Yeah, I'm not into that. Although I've never been a Yankees fan, that's true, but
I've never been a Red Sox fan. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, has New York City? I know it's changed actually a hell of a lot, and particularly in some neighborhoods that have maybe become kind of more gentrified or whatever over the years. But I mean, is there anything left of some of those old, even little things like it? Do people still buy egg creams in New York, or are those a thing of the past?
No, they're still around. Egg creams are still around.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
I just wanted, I was just wondering if, like, the whole thing was completely obliterated, or if there's still maybe a few little things still around.
I don't know if anybody's playing Buck anymore. Your horns are up.
All right, back to Downtown Phantom. I would love to hear, is there going to be more music from Downtown Phantom? And if so, are you working on that now? And tell us a little about that.
Well, we just got our gear together. I mean, right now, we're not planning on going to the studio to do anything. So we're going to be doing everything pretty much the way we did those 2 cover songs that we sent you, Heroes and Bang Bang. And we're also thinking of getting some guest artists on them. I was talking to Tommy about asking Kenny Aronson to join us for the next song that we do. So that's how we plan on doing it. But we do plan on doing it. We plan on continue doing what we're doing and having that be the next record.
I think it might be even the nest step up sound wise, because when we first started doing the Downtown Phantom project, I think Johnny and I were just at the beginning of getting our gear together, learning how to do file transfers and excuse me, and still learning about how to, do this from afar, recording and doing it making it sound, halfway decent. And I think we've come a long way. We started that record, 8 years ago, and probably even longer. And then over the years, we've gotten better gear, and learned how to use the gear better. And I know for me, I've gotten way to the next level. And so I think it's going to sonically sound better. I think I'm
And
comfortable.
faster, hopefully.
I know Johnny's got some new gear that
Yep.
he just bought. So I think it's going to be, I think this next record, I think the writing is going to be as good or better. I've already started on a few songs that Johnny and I have been talking about. So it's already in the progress, and we're going to start, like Johnny said, we're going to start using other people outside of just the three of us, just me. Instead of me, Johnny, and Joey, we're going to start using, trying to get other singers in. I have all my drum programs a lot better together now, and better sounds. And yeah, I think it's going to be very cool. This next record's going to be very cool.
The original one definitely is, and that's exciting to hear about your plans for the next one. Where can people go online, to maybe keep track of the progress of the next record, and also just for both of you with your individual work that you do with other bands?
Well, they could if you're interested in that Downtown Phantom record, you could go to iTunes for it, but probably best to go to Amazon. iTunes lists it under our individual names for some bizarre reason. In other words, it'll say Thommy Price and then Downtown Phantom, and then Johnny Rao, Downtown Phantom. I don't know what that's all about or what they did. But for iTunes, they'll come up as Downtown Phantom. So that's probably the simplest way to get it, that particular record.
And I'm just putting up a new webpage. It's in the progress right now. It's under construction. So it's all my social media is on its. It's going to be the record will be on all my social media. Also, they'll know where to go to purchase it. You'll hear some songs on it. So you can always go to my my website.
When's that going to be ready, Thommy?
Any day now. I'm just waiting. This guy is helping me out with it, so it should be at any time now. It's gonna be done.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
There'll be 3 songs on there to check.
3 songs will be on there.
Yeah.
Some Strange.
Nice.
I think, what did I put on? Some Strange, Missouri, and Tangerine.
So is that TommyPrice.com or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for those who are not familiar with the spelling, it's THOMMY Price.com.
That's right.
So
I don't
definitely
have a website. I just have Reverb Nation. Someday I'll have a website when I have the time, but I just have a Reverb Nation. I have some instrumental
That's
music on there that I haven't updated, but it's on there if you want to check it out.
Nice. And what's the web address for that, or just go to Reverb Nation and search your name?
Yeah, or if you Google my name, something would probably come up with that Reverb Nation website.
Or Reverb or Downtown Phantom / Reverb Nation.
For the Downtown Phantom, yeah. I
Right.
mean, we have stuff on the Reverb Nation, which eventually we're going to move away from that, but for the time being, everything's on there.
But hopefully this pandemic thing will be over, and I have some new ideas for getting out and promoting it. I mean, it's frustrating to sit here and feel good these days and not be able to promote something that you really love. So we can't even play some small clubs right now. So until this is over, we're kind of, we're in
We'll
jail.
just keep writing new stuff. That's all.
We'll just keep writing new stuff. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at some point we got, I'd love to just go out and play this record.
I've heard from a lot of musicians who are incredibly naturally frustrated with the whole situation because they can't get gigs, nothing's open. And
It
it's
might
gonna
get
be
worse
tough.
now with Biden in there. Might get even worse. Not to change the subject and go political, but just saying.
Don't go there, Johnny. Don't go there.
Well,
Might
it's
get worse.
Let's keep it safe.
I think unfortunately it's safe to say that because of winter coming along and cold and flu season, just hearing about what that's going to do mixing with the virus, and the virus is already on the rise again, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a shit show probably.
It
I
really
hate to
is.
say it, but
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
yeah.
Except I don't know anybody who's sick. That's the odd part about it.
Yeah.
But let's not go there.
Coming from the man that keeps opening that jar of worms.
Sorry.
Johnny Rao and Thommy Price, it's been an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Thank you too,
Same
Tom.
here.
I hope this is over soon so we can get out there and start playing.
Yep.
Same
Been
here.
a pleasure, Tom.
Yeah.
It's so frightfully clear. But I'm standing here. You, like a shadow, climbing the room wall to wall. Can't make it go away. It's haunting me daily. It never leaves me alone. But I'm living in fear. Well, it takes one to know one, but now it is time to let go. Can't recognize you, can't size you up on my own. All bonds are broken while I bow down to your host. While I'm living with your ghost. You make me nervous, make me break out in hives. You make my skin itch, my eyelids both twitch. It's such a frightening